Hi everyone, it's John Child here. I'd actually like to just take a minute to introduce myself to those of you who are going to be attending the Las Vegas DJ show coming up September 8th through the 11th in beautiful Las Vegas. Now, I have the awesome opportunity of being one of the speakers during this conference. In fact, I'll be speaking on Monday, September 9th in one of the breakout sessions. Now, I'm relatively new to the Las Vegas DJ show, so some of you may be wondering, well, who's this John Child guy and what's he going to be talking about? So I just like to introduce myself as well as some of the concepts that you're going to have the chance to learn on Monday the 9th. So now I'm the author of Marketing to the Core. And Marketing to the Core is a book about essentially the 4 key concepts that will create results with your small business marketing efforts. And that's what most of us are looking for anyway, is just results for the things that we do, because our marketing dollars are few and far between, and we want to make sure that we're actually getting results for those marketing efforts. Now, as a marketing professional, I'd probably say that about 90% of the small business marketing that I see out there is broken. And it's my goal to fix that. Well, why is it broken? Well, unfortunately, what I see too many small businesses doing out there is they're basically throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks, just hoping that whatever method that they try is somehow going to generate the results for them. Now, first of all, let me just say, this isn't necessarily your fault, because you're a professional DJ. You know everything there is to know about music and mixing and sound systems and lighting systems and everything else about the DJ business. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically a marketing expert. So how do you get around that? Well, first of all, one of the problems or the misconceptions out there is we think, well, heck, I guess, there's a lot of ways to market your business. Heck, it seems like every day somebody's trying to sell you on some kind of new thing. Somebody is coming to you saying, hey, you should be in the yellow pages, because the yellow pages, boy, that's really what's going to bring in the business for you. Somebody else comes up to you and tells you, oh, no, if you don't have a website, you're losing business. Somebody else tells you or tries to pitch you on some kind of calendar thing that, oh, if you had an ad on this calendar, boy, you're going to be up there, 12 months a year. It'll be great. Somebody else is pitching on having a radio ad. Somebody else is telling you that you should do Valpak coupons. Somebody else is trying to sell you newspaper advertising. There's no shortage of all these different types of methodologies that you can use to market your business out there. And it really leaves you kind of in a guessing game, hoping that whatever one of these strategies that you try, whatever fits in your budget, is actually going to work for you. Well, imagine if you could actually have a strategy. If you could eliminate that guessing game and actually have a strategy, knowing exactly what steps you want to take inside of your marketing plan. Imagine if you actually had a giant database of people that you could pull from, people that have been to some of your events, previous clients, prospective clients, whatever, but to be able to market to those people again and again and again for a very, very low cost. Imagine being able to have real conversations instead of turning yourself into this very salesperson kind of thing. Imagine actually having real conversations with people about their events and what they wanted to do with those things. Well, so that's what I'm going to be able to really share with you. So a lot of you may be saying, okay, who's this John Child guy? Where does he come from? Well, I've been in marketing for over 20 years. I've been in small business marketing principally for over 20 years. I've had the chance to work with small businesses all over the country as a consultant, as a professional speaker, etc. And I've seen about every type of business there is, and helping people strategize and really come up with brands and concepts and communications and techniques that are actually going to work with them. And so I want to share those with you. In fact, I've had the chance to travel all over the US, all over Canada, different parts of the world, sharing a lot of these internet marketing strategies as a featured speaker for companies like Microsoft and Success Magazine and eBay and many, many others. Now, here's the interesting thing. It doesn't matter whether I've been in, Youngstown, Ohio, or Sydney, Australia. All small business owners are dealing with the same thing. How do I market myself? How do I let people know that, hey, here I am, come do business with me? Well, what I found that most people were doing is they were spending all of their efforts on this external type stuff. my website or some SEO or maybe this LinkedIn thing or Facebook page or this brochure or something, and just trying all these external things. But the problem that most people are missing is the core ideas that really set your marketing apart. And I call these the core four. Why? Because there's 4 principles at the core of your marketing. So those 4 principles are, and I'm going to really talk about these and introduce these at the workshop on September 9th. But we're going to talk about strategic thinking, proprietary branding, data harnessing, and authentic communicating. So strategic thinking is just what you think it is, actually having strategies. In fact, if some of you are familiar with the game of chess, you realize that strategies win. Being able to think not only 1 move ahead, but 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 moves ahead of, well, if I do this, then this will happen. And then when I do this, then they'll do this. And when they do this, then I'll do this. And bingo, I've got myself a new client. So that's having a strategy. In fact, part of the concept behind this, I'm going to introduce something to you called next step processing. And next step processing is really that, so that when you meet somebody at a trade show, well, what's the next step? Do you give them a brochure or some information? Do you send them to your website? And if they come to your website, well, what's the next step? Are you going to give them a CD? Are you going to have some samples? Are you going to, what's the next step? And then the next step and the next step. So in other words, how do I go from these people have no idea who I am to now they're booking a gig? How do you get that? What are the steps that get you there? And so we're going to talk all about that as part of your strategic thinking. So after strategic thinking, then we're going to talk about proprietary branding. And proprietary branding is a whole lot more than just your logo and your business name. It's really about how people see you, how you brand yourself. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, I don't really care or need to worry about a brand. Well, here's something you might find kind of alarming. You already have a brand whether you want one or not. You already have a brand by default. People already perceive your business some way or another. So you might as well take control of the brand that you have. Now, branding always kind of brings up an interesting point, because a lot of times people will say, well, I don't know how much I should charge for my services. I mean, really, what makes the difference between me being able to charge a lot of money or the other guy across town who charges a little bit of money? And the interesting thing is, it actually doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you charge, just as long as your image matches your fee. And branding is a big part of that. So we're going to introduce these concepts to you at the workshop. Now, next we'll talk about data harnessing. Now, data harnessing means how do I actually get data, names, addresses, phone numbers. In fact, data is one of the most valuable resources in your small business, whether you realize it or not. And data can really help you, so that not only do you have information about current clients or current prospects, but maybe potential people and things. We'll talk about the importance of having a good CRM system, customer relationship management. So if somebody says to you, hey, we're getting married in 3 months and we might want to have you DJ our event, or we've got this thing coming up, or this corporate party or something, well, how do I keep track of that stuff? I can't remember it all in my head. So we're going to talk about the importance of having a good CRM tool in order to be able to harness that data. Now, one of the things that data harnessing really helps you do too, though, is it helps you pick the fruit that's already in the basket. In fact, a lot of times in marketing efforts, people are always trying to reach for the low-hanging fruit or, whatever. Well, heck, you've already got fruit that's been in the basket. People that have already attended an event that you DJ'd, or people that have already know you from a referral or somebody else who's used you. So how can you harness that data to pick fruit that's already been in the basket? Heck, that's a whole lot easier and a whole lot cheaper than trying to go out there and find somebody brand new. So we're going to give you some tricks on how you do that. So once you have strategic thinking in place, you've got some strategies and ideas, and you've got a good brand that you feel good about, you've got some data. Next comes, how do I actually communicate with those people? So we're going to talk lastly about authentic communicating, being able to communicate with the people. And this includes things such as social media and stuff like that. What do I say out there? How do I promote my business but still be kind of social and not overwhelming and things. So we're going to talk a lot about authentic communicating, how to be real, how to be your true self that can actually have relationships with people. One of the real goals with authentic communicating is what's called top of mind awareness. Top of mind awareness means that when somebody, whether it's a week down the road or a month down the road or even 6 months down the road, when they think, I need a DJ for my event, you come to the top of their mind. That's top of mind awareness. And a lot of times it happens just by this little bits of communicating all along, so that as soon as they think of a DJ or somebody says, hey, do you know of a DJ? You're the first person that comes to the top of their mind. So we're going to talk about how you create that top of mind awareness with your prospects and your clients. So lots and lots of great information we're going to share with you that day. So again, I'm going to introduce to you the concepts of strategic thinking, proprietary branding, data harnessing, and authentic communicating. In the meantime, if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can always go to my website, johntchild.com. So what are the benefits behind this? Well, it's going to make your marketing a whole heck of a lot easier. You're going to take that guesswork out of the marketing efforts. You're going to be able to save a lot of money with your marketing because you won't be wasting money on marketing that just doesn't work for you. And finally, you're going to be able to get results for your marketing efforts. And that's really what it's all about. No matter what kind of marketing you do, no matter how big or how small your budget is, you want to get results. And that's the greatest benefit you're going to gain from this breakout session at the workshop. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, you can go to my website, johntchild.com, to learn a little bit more about me. And of course, I certainly look forward to meeting you at the show. Again, if you're going to the show, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great experience. If you're not going to the show or you're thinking about going to the show, then certainly try to plan to be at the Las Vegas DJ show. It's going to be great. September 8th through the 11th. And again, I'm speaking on Monday, September 9th. And so I certainly look forward to being able to meet you there and find out a little bit more about your business. Either way, I wish you the best of success in everything that you do. Thank you.